Okay, picture this. What if I told you that the very celebs who are out here preaching wokeness are actually some of the most hypocritical? Yep, you heard that right. From dramatic speeches that miss the mark to the cringiest social media moments, these so-called woke warriors have been caught slipping in ways you won't believe. And trust me, what you're about to hear isn't just jaw-dropping, it's an absolute masterclass in contradiction. Let's get into it. So the vibe was heavy. A young contestant stood in front of a panel of celebrity judges, pouring his heart out about a tragic event that changed his life forever. It was one of those moments where everyone should have just been there for him, right? A space filled with compassion, understanding, and maybe even healing. But nope, what happened next? Chile. It left everyone stunned. Instead of being the moment he deserved, the spotlight was snatched by someone you'd never expect. And just like that, we're diving headfirst into a wild story of self-centered wokeness. Buckle up. All right, first up, Katy Perry. So this young man starts sharing his story, like the most gut-wrenching experience ever. He was a survivor of a school shooting that took the lives of his friends and teachers. The kind of story that makes your heart break into a million pieces, right? But instead of sitting in that moment with him, Katy swoops in, full tears and drama. She cries, I'm so scared for our country. Like, sis, what? The poor guy is standing there, visibly uncomfortable, while Katy is deep in her feelings. Let's call it what it is, performative empathy. Instead of uplifting this young man and his story, Katy made it about herself. Classic celebrity move. And Matt Walsh didn't hold back, saying, if someone is sharing their trauma, the last thing they need is for you to make it about you. This isn't compassion, it's narcissism. And here's the tea. This moment wasn't just an awkward blunder. It revealed something way bigger about celebrity culture. Katy, who's always out here talking about awareness and activism, used a real tragedy as a backdrop for her emotions. Like, girl, how are you going to turn this into your Oscar moment? Instead of channeling her platform toward meaningful change, she made it about herself, leaving everyone to wonder if the empathy was ever real. Oh, but we're not done.
Oh, we're comparing stats. Baby girl doesn't know that I am Tom Brady at this game. Married at 18, divorced at 21. Second marriage, married at 25, divorced at 28. Third engagement, engaged at 29, ended it at 30, but I kept the ring. I'm still keeping Tom Brady on his toe.
Next, we have Mia Khalifa. Now, if you don't know, Mia has transitioned from adult film star to marriage guru? Yep, you read that right. In a TikTok video, Mia spilled the tea about her 3 failed marriages. That's right, divorced 3 times before hitting 30. But instead of reflecting, she called it empowering and had the audacity to say, we shouldn't be afraid to leave men. Marriage is just paperwork. Girl, pause. By that logic, is a birth certificate just paperwork? Contracts? Deeds? Like, make it make sense. And Matt Walsh dragged her, saying, if you failed repeatedly at something, maybe don't position yourself as an expert on it. Then Mia made it worse by comparing herself to Tom Brady, saying she's like him because of her rings. Matt clapped back, Tom Brady has 7 rings because he won 7 Super Bowls. You don't get to call yourself Tom Brady of marriage because you failed repeatedly. Here's the real issue. By glamorizing failed relationships as empowering, Mia sends a dangerous message that undermines the importance of commitment and accountability. Sure, leaving toxic situations is valid, but treating marriage like a casual experiment? Yikes. Now let's talk about Anne Hathaway. So, Anne was celebrating the 16th anniversary of The Devil Wears Prada. Iconic, right? But instead of reminiscing on fashion and iconic one-liners, Anne pivoted to politics. This is a conversation about women's rights. No, human rights, she said, referencing the Roe v. Wade overturn. And then, wait for it, she lamented how the fictional characters from The Devil Wears Prada wouldn't be able to access abortions if the movie was set in today's world. Matt Walsh summed it up perfectly. You're grieving over a scenario that doesn't even exist. Meanwhile, real women are living complex lives, and you reduce their struggles to a punchline for your woke agenda. The real issue? This wasn't advocacy. It was a performance. Anne hijacked a nostalgic moment and turned it into a soapbox. Instead of adding something meaningful to the conversation, she made it feel forced and disingenuous. And finally, we have Will Ferrell. At a women's event, Will declared, isn't it time for women to run the planet? I mean, we men have been running things since 10,000 BC and we haven't been doing so good. Sir, be serious. In trying to pander to women, Will dismissed centuries of progress and innovation. Like you're erasing history to get applause? Make it make sense. Matt Walsh clapped back. If you think men are failing at leadership, handing over the reins entirely to women won't fix anything. Leadership isn't about gender, it's about competence. So what's the common thread? These celebs are obsessed with looking woke, but their actions don't match their words. Whether it's hijacking someone's trauma, bragging about failures, or delivering tone-deaf speeches, it's all about the optics. Performative wokeness started as a push for inclusivity, but now it's just a competition to see who can look the most virtuous. And the real problem? It leaves the public exhausted and skeptical. Instead of inspiring change, it's turning important causes into punchlines. So here's the real tea. Why are we still giving these celebs a platform? Isn't it time we demand authenticity over performance? Let me know in the comments which moment had you shaking your head the most. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more because trust me, this rabbit hole goes deep.